can be for educational softwares, of which we follow certain principles. Like for creating quiz games, you have to first think about drawing a flowchart and checking how it can be implied on the software. So to develop a small quiz game, first of all, you have to have a set of questions and answers as well. So it can be put in an array, and you have to create a variable, and it is an array variable, and you have to um, assign all these data to these arrays, and there is questions and answers. Then you have to think the next step is how to display it on the screen. So the displaying should be done with the question visible on the screen, and the answer should be taken from the user. So once the user enters the answer, so you have to go and check it whether it is tallying with your answers which is given in the arrays. So once it is checked, if it is right, then the correct message should come. But if it is wrong, then you have to display a wrong message. So the score as well can be incremented as it is. You have to give score if the answer is right, and if it is wrong, you can even decrement the score. So this is the basic principle of just designing a quiz game. So it can be used for many purposes. Like for example, it can also use different components. For example, it can be for radio buttons, objective way of answering the questions, like creating radio buttons or check boxes. So radio buttons are basically used for selection of one single answer. So rather than checkboxes, radio buttons are more useful. And in one of my videos, I have given a quiz which is designed in Visual Basic, and it is having radio buttons along with the questions being displayed with three objectives. So once the user selects the right answer, then the correct or the score will be incremented, and the timing should be given as well. So you have to think that you have to give a time limit of answering a question, or it can be let us take for example for 1 minute answering of questions, or 2 minutes. So you can give how much timing is required for answering one single question. As it is, you have many questions as well. And finally, the total score, that the grand total of how the user has done the test, and you have to give that grand total at the end of the program. So this is how you create a quiz program for any software, as it is in basic. Basic is a very basic language, that is, you must have heard of beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code. It is a basic language, and it can be implied for basic language. It can be implied in Visual Basic. It can be implied in Flash, or it can be implied in Scratch, in C++, Java, in any of the fields, in any of the platforms, you can create quiz programs. So all you have to do is just create the flowchart first, then go step by assigning how the quiz should appear on the screen and how effective you have to make it as well. Or you can even display some images, like for example a crying face for getting the wrong answer, and a smiling face for getting a good answer, that is the correct answer. So as well, you could incorporate musics. So this is how basically a quiz program is done in the computers. So as it is in other videos, I can give you tips of how you have create design games for educational purpose, and how if for different fields, like for example can be for crosswords, it can be for creating of in like rearranging of letters, that is the words. So all these things can be done by first checking it with the flowcharts, and as well as designing it later. So in my next videos, I can give you an idea or some tips related to how you can create such